สวัสดีครับ Welcome back to Striking Nation. We are back for the last breakdown and prediction of 1173, a fight between the Iron Man Rodtang Jitmuangnon going against the unkillable king of Muay Thai Nong-O Hama. I have already gone over Yuki Yosa vs Superleg, Stem Fat Hicks vs Kana Barimato, and Superborn vs Noiwi. So check all those out if you haven't. And as you may know, I did do a video on Nong-O vs Jonathan Haggerty, but as you also probably already know, Jonathan Haggerty has pulled out due to an injury. Nabil will still be fighting in 1173 in a new rule set, which is kickboxing, and also going up a weight class now in featherweight against a former K1 champion from Japan. So it's gonna be really interesting to see that fight also. But the focus of this video is gonna be Rodtang versus Nong-O. We'll be going over their stat, style and strategy, and based on everything, the prediction. That is going to be enough for an intro. Let's get started off with both of their stats. Starting off with Rodtang, he stands at 168 cm tall, aka 5'6". At 28 years of age, he is considered to be young compared to his opponent who is already at 38 years of age. That is going to be a whopping 10 years older. And Nong-O is at 171 cm tall, aka 5'7". This would mean that everyone watching will have the same question: could Nong-O keep up to Rodtang in terms of his stamina, fitness, and just him being past his prime? On the other hand, Rodtang is still around his prime. You could even argue that he is at his prime after an amazing performance against Takeru. Now let's turn the attention to their experience. So under the One Championship Muay Thai rule set, both of them are extremely stacked. Rodtang have 14 fights with only one loss in his whole One Championship Muay Thai career. He may not be a finishing machine with only 3 finish, but the 12 fight winning streak that he used to have and only losing to one person, which is Superleg, via a controversial decision, make him almost untouchable here in one. And even when he no longer have the belt after he lose his belt by failing on the scale, people still kind of see him as the undisputed champion, and everyone just expect him to just get back on the scale, pass his weight, and become the champion again. As for Nong-O, this man is a legend even outside of one and have a slightly less impressive record in one of 12 wins and only 4 losses. Nong-O used to be one of the most fearsome fighters in One Championship. He became a 8-time bantamweight Muay Thai champion for a reason, but after he started to lose his momentum after fighting with Jonathan Haggerty, Nico Coelho, and Cameron Nabati, he basically couldn't keep up with the weight class that he is fighting in. He was too small for bantamweight. Everyone that fight him, all the Westerner fighters are larger than him, more muscular, pack more power, they're all taller, and overall in terms of the physical status, he always have the disadvantage in the bantamweight division. So since he came down to the flyweight division here and able to get some time to adjust to the new weight class, his performance against Gong Choni, who used to be seen as someone who have a really good potential of facing Rodtang, was just incredible. But anyway, that should be enough about their stat and record. So let's look into both of their styles, starting off with Rodtang. Rodtang is known for his aggression, power punch, and showmanship. However, he is also a tactical fighter that uses control aggression with impressive fight IQ. His main arsenal is going to be the classic Muay Mat style weapon, which is the punches and the leg kick. He also mixed in some teep and occasionally some kick to the head and the body. But the main weapon that I like the most about Rodtang is not any of that. It is going to be the elbow. Rodtang in his recent 5-round Muay Thai fight against Jacob Smith, he was being really patient, staying on the outside, throwing leg kick from his lead leg. He exercised control aggression by only picking up his pace to burst into effective punching and elbow combination, and not just being senseless about his aggression. He doesn't just run into Jacob Smith trying to force his hand onto Jacob. He waits for the right moment to do so, making sure to catch Jacob Smith off guard to maximize his energy and aggression. This helped to reduce the amount of stamina he used, and it also made it really difficult for his opponent to see the attack coming. He got a lot of ways to close the distance and land his punch aside from just timing and speed. For example, catching Jacob Smith's teeth and pull him in for some punches, or firing off his punch while Jacob Smith recovers from his kick. On the inside, Rodtang elbow was exceptional. If you have seen Rodtang vs Super Leg fight, you will recognize my favorite Rodtang elbow, which is the piercing elbow or the uppercut elbow. He liked to use this elbow to bypass his opponent's range, split the guard through the middle, and cut up his opponent's face. This is the same move that he used to cut up both Jacob Smith and Super Leg. Once he entered the clinching range, Rodtang has displayed dominant clinching game, especially with his elbow against most of the opponent, including Super Leg. Defense-wise, Rodtang has been showing a lot more evasion, using a really loose guard so he can lean away from his opponent's attack, and even if he get hit, he will roll off the strike and pay back with his own power shot. Overall, Rodtang's style is really tricky to deal with since he isn't just a senseless aggression machine, but he is someone who learned to control his aggression, use it at the right moment, and just have incredible durability. Now let's move on to Nong-O style, especially in the flyweight division. First of all, Nong-O is well known for two things: his heavy right kick and aggressive hand combination. Nong-O right kick has always been by his side in the bantamweight division. He almost chopped out Nico Kylo's leg in just a single round. His leg kick KO'd the hitman Liam Harrison, who is known for having one of the best leg kick in the game, and his roundhouse kick to the body have destroyed a lot of his opponent's ribs, painting all their body red, and has been his main weapon for so long. In terms of kicking power, timing, and overall kicking skill, Nong-O is going to be a level above Rodtang, and frankly, most of the fighters he faced, he is going to be a level above all of them. In terms of his hand, people has been sleeping on Nong-O punching game, probably because he has been relying mostly on his kick a bit too much lately. But in the last fight with Gong Choi, he did brought back his punching game, using it to set up his kick, prevent counter shot by falling into hand combination after his kick. He increased his overall volume by an impressive amount by just adding back in those hand combination. And lastly, he mixed up the angle with uppercut, incorporating it into his combination really nicely. And him putting emphasis on using his hand again have made a whole world of difference in the last fight against Gong Choi. Nong-O also do his best work when he is the aggressor. He loves to control the fight with aggression, and if anyone allow him to string up his punches and kick without interrupting him, the moment that he have the beat and the tempo on his side, that is when he'll be the scariest man in the ring. In terms of defense, Nong-O has been shown lately to not have the most sturdy shin and can get rocked quite often, which is something that naturally comes with age. Even in the fight that he actually won the fight by a KO or a decision, he just always been seen to get rocked lately, whether it's gonna be like Nico Kylo or Jonathan Haggerty. He got KO and TKO, which means Nong-O has to make sure that his chin, his face is always protected. That is why you often see Nong-O using a high guard to make sure that he can protect his chin. If he, for example, go for a kick, he would immediately put up his guard to catch any punching coming for a counter. But the good thing is, after dropping to flyweight and no longer have to be scared of all the powerful Western fighters that are taller, heavier, and more powerful, he did show more of his evasiveness against Gong Choi, which does really well add some flavor to his punching game, allowing him to dodge and counter with his hand instead of just relying on like a secure high guard with a not so secure small glove. The small glove really does make blocking less of a viable option, so that should be enough about Nong-O and Rodtang's style. Let's get going with the strategy. With both Rodtang and Nong-O being quite a aggressive fighter, this fight should turn out to be quite a brawl in the middle round. However, with the fight start, it should be quite a slow start from both sides. Rodtang in the 5-round fight will start out slow and turn up the heat toward the later round, especially starting at the 3rd round. As for Nong-O, we haven't seen him do a proper 5-round matchup since defending his title against Alavadi Ramasnov in January of 2023. In that fight, Nong-O kept a consistent pace, not too high volume, not too little volume, able to just keep a steady pace across all of the 5 rounds. He does look tired toward the end, but he wasn't like dying or anything. In the most recent 3-round fight against Gong Choi in flyweight, he have shown his pace to be incredibly high volume with consistent and clean strike. However, I wouldn't expect that to be the case for a 5-round matchup against Rodtang. I don't believe that he'll be able to keep his pace that high for the whole duration of the 5 round, which means most likely both will lay low within the 1st and the 2nd round, exchanging some kick. Maybe Rodtang go for the leg, Nong-O will probably try to go for the leg or the body, maybe even do the shoulder area like he did with Gong Choi, but I don't really see like a specific spot that should probably aim for in this case. case against Rodtang, but you can also expect the first and the second round where Rodtang might start to burst into some of his hand combination just occasionally, just to test the water and see how Nong-O react. And if it turned out well, maybe you get something that happened with Takeru, where Rodtang just kind of accidentally knocked out Takeru. I think in his interview he wasn't expect Takeru to get knocked out like that, but since Nong-O hand is also not to be slept on, in the punching range we should be able to see some interesting exchange. The best case scenario for Rodtang is probably gonna be initiating into a trade instead of making it a turn-based strike. Both Rodtang and Nong-O have great hand combination, and Nong-O can hold out in his guard quite well, so by instead trying to interrupt Nong-O combination and encourage trading and exchanges by doing something like a constant pressure should be Rodtang's best option, since he is much fitter and able to take damage a lot better. The pressure of Rodtang would also mean that this fight would likely end in a lot of clinch, with Nong-O trying to stop Rodtang punch and trying to get a separation to get back in the longer range. So in that clinching range, I believe Rodtang will be able to dominate with his impressive elbow game. From doing elbow on the entry, doing something like the piercing elbow and the uppercut elbow, to doing elbow from the inside of that clinching range, just getting control of the clinch, sneak in some elbow. I believe Rodtang should have the more dominant performance inside of the clinch. I believe that as long as Rodtang chooses to increase the pressure and become really aggressive upon taking Nong-O kick, just launch into a punch. If he get punched, he have to launch back into his own punch. If he get punched again, just launch back into a clinch and elbow, and just choosing the right moment to be aggressive, something that Rodtang has been doing really well lately. I believe he should be able to get some KO or TKO finish here. As for Nong-O, it is going to be a really tough matchup to beat a lock-in version of Rodtang, especially since Rodtang is back to team up with the miracle maker nutritionist Peter Miller from Condition Nutrition. He should be able to make sure that there will be no complication on the weigh-in day. Rodtang should be able to step on the scale, get the pass immediately. That would also mean his overall condition should also be really good. Let's just hope that that is going to be the case, and that is everything that I want to see for Rodtang in Japan. As for Nong-O, if there's any chance for him, I believe it would be to take advantage of the cage. Put Rodtang on the edge of his punch, focus on doing damage with his kick, and just staying as far as possible from Rodtang, just going around the cage. If Rodtang get too close, take a pitch from super leg to control Rodtang's hand by grabbing onto his wrist, preventing him from being comfortable in the mid-range where he is the most scary. Try to win by decision, getting most of his score through his kick. Come into this fight as fit as possible so the older age wouldn't be a factor. Make sure it can last 5 rounds comfortably, not drop off in the later round. Go for a lot of kick to all level. That is the only way that I can see Nong-O winning here, which means that we have come to the end, and after everything that I have said so far, I do believe that Rodtang can win this fight, with the main tipping point being the elbow and the hand control. And before I end the video, there are so many fights in 1173 I haven't talked about yet. Even the one that I'm really excited to see, something like Takeru versus Danish Purish, Nandaga versus Nom Surin, Sir Kim versus Jake Peacock, and also the MMA side, you got Rug versus Anatoly Malekin, you got Yuya Wakumatsu versus Joshua Pacho, you also have Christian Lee versus Rasulov, and Isojima versus Tai Lutolo. Like, the whole card is just so stacked, I cannot possibly talk about all of them. So that is everything I have to say for 1173. At the moment, we are still not sure if we're getting a pay-per-view or not. Where do we have to watch the pay-per-view, and how much is the price? I'm still in the dark on that, so keep an eye out for all the stuff. Hope everyone enjoy 1173, because I will for sure be enjoying that. If you are going to watch in person in Tokyo, make sure to be extra prepared, because it's going to be a really long watch. I will stay home and enjoy the fight from the comfort of my home. So thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.